In this video, I'm going to share a story that describes the power of love over looks. If you're somebody for whom looks on a date is really important, then this story will really speak to you. Hello, my name is Katharine Gray. Welcome to this Christian dating coaching video on YouTube. It's great to see our subscribers here today. Thank you for joining us. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please click the red subscribe button below. It'll ensure you never miss another video. Okay, let's get going. My husband and I attended a Care for the Family seminar, which was led by Rob Parsons a number of years ago. He shared this beautiful story that really touched me, and I want to share it with you today because it has so much truth in it for our lives, and particularly for dating. I hope you'll be as touched by it as I was, and I'm going to read it to make sure I get it right. John Blanchford stood up from the bench, straightened his army uniform, and studied the crowd of people making their way forward through Grand Central Station in New York. He was anxiously looking forward to meeting the girl whose heart he knew, but whose face he didn't. The girl who had said he'd recognise her by the rose she was wearing in her lapel. His interest in this girl, a Miss Holly Mennell, had begun 13 months before when he'd started a pen-friend relationship with her. Soon after they'd started writing to each other, John was shipped overseas for service in World War II, so his chance to meet her then had disappeared. During the 11 months, they grew to know each other through the mail. Each letter was a seed falling on a fertile heart. A romance was budding. Blanchard requested a photograph from Hollis, but Hollis refused. A few months later, he asked for another one. Again, she refused. Hollis felt that if John really cared about her, it wouldn't matter what she looked like. When the day finally came for him to return from Europe, they arranged their first meeting, 7 p.m. at the Grand Central Station, New York. "You'll recognise me," she said, "by the red rose I'll be wearing on my lapel." So at 7 p.m. he was in the station looking for the girl whose heart he loved, but whose face he'd never seen. This is what happened in John's words. A young woman was coming towards me, her figure long and slim. Her blonde hair lay back in curls from her delicate eyes. Her eyes were blue as flowers. Her lips and chin had a gentle firmness, and in her pale green suit she was like springtime come alive. I started towards her, entirely forgetting to notice that she was not wearing a rose. As I moved, a small provocative smile curved on her lips. "Going my way, sailor," she murmured. Almost uncontrollably, I made one step closer to her, and then just behind her I saw this lady wearing a rose, and I knew with a sinking heart that she was the one I was due to be meeting. This lady appeared to be a woman well past 50. She had greying hair tucked under a worn hat. She wore staid, uninteresting clothes. She was more plump and had thick ankled feet thrust into low-heeled shoes. The girl in the green suit was quickly walking away. I felt as I was split in two, so keen was my desire to follow her, and yet so deep was my longing for the woman whose spirit had truly companioned me and upheld my own. And there she stood. Her pale, plump face was gentle and sensible. Her grey eyes had a warm and kindly twinkle. I did not hesitate. My fingers gripped the letter she had written to me. I thought to myself, this would not be love, but it would be something precious, something perhaps even better than love. A friendship for which I had been and must ever be grateful. I squared my shoulders and saluted and started to introduce myself, although when I spoke I felt choked by the bitterness of disappointment. "I'm Lieutenant John Blanchard, and you must be Miss Mennell. I'm so glad you can meet me. May I take you to dinner?" The woman's face broadened into a tolerant smile. "I don't know what this is about, son," she answered, "but the young lady in the green suit that just went by, she begged me to wear this rose on my coat. And she said, if you were to ask me out for dinner, I should tell you that she is waiting for you in the big restaurant across the street. She said it was some kind of test." It's not difficult to admire Miss Mennell's wisdom. She was looking for a man that would truly love her, knowing that one day her looks would fade. She wanted somebody whose love would go deeper than the superficial, someone who'd been there always. As you go dating, please take this story to heart. We've got stories like that on our website of people who've not been attracted by looks and then have learnt that the person underneath is so much deeper and more wonderful than they'd first envisaged. Outward appearances aren't everything, and if you judge purely on outward appearances, you really could miss something special. I really hope you've loved this story. I find it chokes me up when I read it. Please give us a thumbs up if you've liked it in the box below, and perhaps leave a comment on whether you've ever found that you've judged somebody based on appearances and then found they were to be very different afterwards. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button below and ensure you don't miss another one of our Christian dating coaching videos. Thank you. Goodbye.